Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Today's event is a panel discussion with two thought leaders from ServiceNow and ScreenMeet, and we're going to be focusing on trends in both technology and experience that are really transforming the IT service management space. I'm Kelly Williams, the Vice President of Customer Success at ScreenMeet, and I'll be the moderator for today's discussion. So before we dive into the conversation, I want to tell you briefly about the partnership between ServiceNow and ScreenMeet. So our companies have been collaborating for many years, and we're focused on building solutions that really extend the capabilities of ServiceNow, specifically for support and service disciplines. So the ScreenMeet solution, which Ben will tell you a little more about in a bit, it's fully integrated into ServiceNow to create just this innovative experience for agents and customers, and we're really excited that ServiceNow themselves uses ScreenMeet to support their own employees. So I'd like to introduce our panelists today, which is Tracy Laird and Ben Lilienthal. I'm really excited to be talking to these two. Tracy is the Vice President of Product Management at ServiceNow, and she currently leads the ITSM and Service Operations Global Go-to-Market, Voice of Customer, Product Advisory Council, and Strategic Customer Programs. She's got extensive experience in this space, and she led GE Transportation's digital solutions portfolio, and she's held other positions with PeopleSoft, Veritas, and Symantec. So Tracy, thank you for being here. And Ben Lilienthal is the CEO and co-founder of ScreenMeet. So Ben is a serial entrepreneur in the collaboration and communication technology arena, and he started and sold two companies prior to our company, ScreenMeet. One of them was VAPS, which was acquired by Citrix, and the other was Nascent, which was acquired by CMGI. So Tracy and Ben, thank you for being here today.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly.
So let me start with just a quick setting the stage for what we're going to talk about. So the past few years, they've really seen this rapid transformation in IT service and operations management, spanning both technology and experience, right? So there's a lot of conversation around experience, and balancing those two has created a lot of thought in the area. So today I'd really like to talk to you both about the trends you've observed, what you're hearing from your customers, and how your organizations are positioned to respond. So let's start by at a very high level. And Tracy, I want to start with you. And what I'd like to know is what have you learned in the past year from your customers, your colleagues, and thought leaders that is really shaping the direction of ServiceNow?
Thanks, Kelly. Well, first and foremost, our customers are really looking for a company they can partner with on digital transformation to help connect people, functions, and systems to serve customers and employees much better, as well as drive profitability. Most of the execs we hear from and are working with day in and day out are constantly telling us that they have to grow revenue, provide incredible customer experiences, incredible employee experiences, improve their operations, figure out how they're going to optimize their supply chains and drive productivity. All that being said, while managing risk. So the things that are really top of mind for those service and operations leaders are all directly tied to their digital first strategies. And what's really top of mind is how to reduce the friction that's taking place that causes increased costs, as well as disparate technology and tools with different teams. So it's really important for those services and operations teams and tools and data that are somewhat siloed to come together to address increased growth and revenue.
Great. So can you tell us about how ServiceNow is responding to those requirements and what's important to them? Specifically, I'm interested in, the experience, reducing that friction, reducing risk. You said a lot there. So how have you responded in terms of providing a solution to your customers to meet those objectives?
Yeah, so from an IT services perspective specifically, we've looked at what we've heard from customers around employee frustration, around IT support, routine repetitive tasks for their staff, making sure that teams that don't have consistency in management of tech vendors and systems, that's in place. And from an operations standpoint, we're really looking at how we address any major delays in high priority incidents, how we diagnose and resolve those quickly, things of that nature. So we're really responding to that with the platform. The platform is for digital business, for all employees, for technology excellence, for customer service, customer experience, and operational excellence. So that platform, the ServiceNow platform, allows us to focus on what you as customers need to automate and optimize service operations.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. So Ben, how about you? First of all, a lot of our audience isn't familiar with ScreenMeet, so maybe you can give us just a quick summary of ScreenMeet, and then how you believe ScreenMeet is supporting ServiceNow's objectives that Tracy has just described.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So ScreenMeet is the first cloud native remote support platform in the world. Having previously sold a company to Citrix, which became part of LogMeIn, we basically ScreenMeet is rebuilding that kind of functionality cloud native. And so what that means, because it's cloud native, is it can be embedded directly into the ServiceNow platform so that it appears like a seamless extension of the platform. And what that does is it drives all of these operational benefits that Tracy's referring to. So, what we like to think of is that we're the last mile, right? It completes the digital transformation task by being embedded within the platform that you do everything else with. So here you've made this huge investment. You've started the digital transformation journey, but you get right up to the 5-yard line, and there's a couple things that are, it turns out are unique to real-time communications, and that's where ScreenMeet comes in. So right where ServiceNow stops is where ScreenMeet picks up. We take the ball and we get you over the finish line. And what our customers are finding is that this is kind of this magical 1 + 1 = 3 experience, right? They already know the magic of ServiceNow, and now they're able to kind of get those last legacy applications converted, embedded, and deployed quickly, easily, and with little technology governance risk, because ScreenMeet is inside ServiceNow, essentially. And so what we find is not only does it make it easy, but it's delightful. When was the last time somebody said, "Oh, I love this tool that we're using"? That never happens. I've been doing this for 25 years, but with our customers, they actually love what we do because it makes the experience so much better. So, and not to mention all the KPIs and the ROI and the kind of financial and operational metrics. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Well, you talked about, finishing the experience, like closing that gap. And I want to pivot and talk a little bit about that, because the other thing we've heard a lot about is discussion around how to leverage machine learning and AI. And there's this conversation around how to balance automation, right, and bots with personal engagement. So Tracy, I'd like to hear from you a little more about how ServiceNow has created products and solutions for leveraging AI and machine learning. And I know you have a virtual agent product that your own company uses. So can you tell us about that? And then I want to pivot to Ben on how the engagement part of it comes into play.
Sure, happy to share that. So we absolutely have virtual agent capabilities on the ServiceNow platform. We have virtual agents with natural language understanding, capabilities tied to service catalog, dynamics translation, predictive intelligence, all in the embedded experiences for employees and our customer base around the globe. So we've intentionally offered a great experience that not only happens in the UI, which provides the ability for quick responses abilities for employees to access and make requests across the globe, across technology services, anywhere, anytime, on any device. So this is something that we provide that also allows for embedded experiences with Microsoft Teams, with Slack, with Zoom, various other collaboration tools that your employees are likely using every day.
Right. And that obviously gives many, many channels for contacting your contact center, your employee help desk, or whatever that might be.
Yes.
So taking that to the next step, then one of the things that we talk about is, when is personal engagement needed? And that's sort of where ScreenMeet comes in. So, Ben, what have you learned about where automation ends and in personal engagement is needed, right? And why would you have both? Are they still both?
Sure. This is my favorite. It's like when you're on the phone with United and you keep pressing 0 to get to the operator. What we have discovered, what we have spent the last decade investing in, is the tools for the 30% of those incidents that cannot be handled by deflection. And so that, that number's getting down to 28%, 25%, but it's not going away yet, because, the ChatGPT, machine learning, AI is smart, but it's not that smart. And by the way, ScreenMeet has all that corpus of data that we can learn on over time. So once you get to the end of the chat bot and you need a human to intervene to help you reset your password or upgrade, I don't know, I got a new iPhone over the weekend. It took hours working with a real person to get me upgraded. That's where the ScreenMeet tool set comes in. And it's a seamless handoff. It's actually, we're embedded inside those virtual agent chat blocks. So with one click from a deployment, an employee can be screen sharing with an agent from a virtual chat, and it all goes through omni-channel. So all of that friction goes away. It just works. And so we find that kind of seamless handoff to be powerful, to be real, and to drive efficiency, across the service desk.
So there was a question that came in. Someone said that they're a smaller company and wondering when is the right time to incorporate a virtual assistant, and is there some sort of metric around that? So Tracy, do you have some thoughts on a growing company and how they would decide now is the time for us to go ahead with this versus we're too small to even think about this?
Yeah, so I think you have to think about, in terms of your journey with ServiceNow and the platform, and what, from a digital transformation standpoint, what is your team looking to accomplish in terms of the key results? So are you looking to reduce the employee to get to a certain percentage? Is it 30%? Is it 50%? Employee self-solve resolution? You've got to have some sort of balance between what you intend to do and intentionally design that experience to look like, to not only improve the agent experience or employee experience, and try to gradually get to that number, whether it be 30%, 20, 30, 40, 50. We have many customer stories with ServiceNow and ScreenMeet, and many stories just around virtual agent, where we've seen anywhere between a 30% up to 65% employee self-solve, but you still have to have a balance of how are you going to get to a live agent if needed.
Right. Spending a lot of time talking to our customers about the balance between their chat agents. They're implementing virtual agents, and they've got their chat agents, and then how many voice and agents they have. And while this is growing, it's growing rapidly. There's still anywhere from 50 to 75% of the agents are live agents supporting employees. So I want to pivot for a minute here and look ahead. So we've talked about what we've learned, and the two of you've just attended a lot of conferences recently. You're always talking to thought leaders here. So I'd like to get your thoughts on what you foresee is coming next in technology and experience innovation. So Tracy, why don't I start with you on that one?
Well, I think what we're going to continue to see, based on the themes we've been hearing over the last year that I shared earlier, is that our customers will continue to focus on delivering a world-class customer and employee experience. And that is going to be critical to what aligns to service and operations best-in-class delivery and experiences on the platform. And that's to help drive profitability and help make sure that automation and connecting to anything continues to evolve over the next 1 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Customers are also, one other thing I will add is the other conversations that we're having frequently at this point in time are around additionally around process optimization and workforce optimization, and how do we help customers with productivity gains.
Ben, what are your thoughts then on technological advancements and what's coming next?
I think, to piggyback on what Tracy said, I think efficiency and sort of productivity. Are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? Is the macro economy, growing? Is it, slowing down? There's a lot of uncertainty in the market, and corporations want to get more out of what they've already invested in.
Yeah. And
so driving sort of efficiency across the workforce by providing modern tooling, I think is really a kind of a key factor in our success. Because we come in and we say, look, with your existing workforce, you can do 35% more by putting more things in the platform, right? Put more things in the platform. You've already done it. You've already made the investment. And so it's such an interesting time in the world, because technology budgets, IT budgets are not going away. IT budgets are growing. The question is, where are they going? They're going to those need to have tools that drive productivity and efficiency across the enterprise. And ServiceNow is clearly one, and ScreenMeet happens to be able to sort of ride in that wake and be another tool that's getting uptake in these uncertain economic times.
So circling back to something you said at the very beginning, Tracy, you talked about how risk reduction is so important to a lot of the leaders in this space, right? So how do you believe that ScreenMeet ServiceNow combination contributes to reduced risk and even thinking towards responding to the next unexpected event like the pandemic and recessionary periods and stuff? So how does this all help these leaders who are working on budgets and stuff that Ben just mentioned be prepared for that?
Yeah, so I think some of the really important anecdotes, we have this within ServiceNow as well with many other customers around the globe, is how do you proactively reduce outages? What are you thinking about in terms of services, operations around the globe, and reducing outages by a certain percentage? How are you thinking about employee self-service to gain gain back hours in productivity or a certain percentage of increased productivity across your teams around the globe? What are you doing to reduce a certain volume of P1, P2 incidents? And then the final piece is, how are you thinking about driving technology best practices and optimizing those processes to support those things?
Okay. Ben, do you have anything to follow up with on that? Okay.
Nope, just efficiency and productivity.
Okay, great. So we've got a few more minutes here, and I have one more question before we go to the Q&A that's coming in. So looking ahead, can each of you recommend 1 or 2 items that our audience can really take in the next 90 days to take advantage of the trends that we've talked about today? Tracy, I'll start with you.
Okay, sure. So I would say to round out this conversation, as you're thinking about your journey with ServiceNow and with ScreenMeet, to think about how you're going to bring technology and services operations together for your customers, for your employees. Look at how you're going to expand those services to provide that exceptional experience and while reducing costs at the same time. The second area I would recommend thinking about is how do you build in that extraordinary employee experience with resilience and making sure that you can drive those best practices around the globe to support your business and your teams.
Great. Okay. Ben, how about you? What recommendations do you want to put out there?
I think there's a simple quadrant of what tools do I use that are not in platform. And, that's self-serving. Clearly, remote support is one, but I'm sure there's a half dozen other ones behind it where those similar efficiencies, those similar productivity gains are available, and they're available quickly. And there's other, ISV vendors on the platform that can help. And so make a list, what are the top 5 things that I do in my service desk that I don't do inside of ServiceNow, and go find them and get them from the store, or call the vendor and try them out. Because what our customers find is, 1, they didn't know it was available. 2, they didn't know how easy it was. And 3, they didn't realize the productivity gains. And so it's sort of like, it's right there adjacent to the big thing that they're doing and working on. And it's really meaningful. So that would be my recommendation,
Terrific. And we do have a few questions. So here's one. It says, we're currently using ITSM to support 2,000 employees. How should we decide if moving to service operations workspace is right for us? Tracy, that would be for you.
Right. Well, hopefully you've seen the latest and greatest on service operations workspace from ServiceNow, but I will share with you a little bit more context around that product. So this is an industry-leading experience. We have built service operations workspace as the next generation workspace to provide insights and dashboards for agents, and that includes the use of machine learning to assign tasks and suggest the next best action, basically. So service desk agents have a single landing page to view that provides an overview of outages, service assignments, announcements, so that your agents can prioritize their work. So you should be thinking about, what does your team need to be successful, and how can this industry-leading experience help with managing incidents, experts that are on call, collaboration, all the goodness of what that product brings, and that solution brings to the table.
Great, thanks, Tracy.
Just like to add that ScreenMeet is already certified and working inside of Service Operations Workspace. So that final piece that you may be missing is already there.
Yeah, and a few of our customers are on that now, so it's terrific to see. So Ben, one more question and then we can wrap up. So here's one, I love this one. We're a longtime Baumgar customer and it's still working for us. Why should we look at ScreenMeet? I love that question.
Unlike Baumgar, ScreenMeet is globally deployed, has a modern cloud architecture, not fake cloud, has a modern UI, is embedded with inside ServiceNow, doesn't require a separate set of passwords or a separate data storage, and doesn't take a 34-page setup guide to get working. It literally can be installed within under an hour from the store. So thank you for the softball question. And happy to follow up directly, Ben at screenmeet.com. Even I can install it for you.
Thanks, Ben. I just want to thank Ben and Tracy for the conversation today. Thank you so much for being here today. This is really great, insightful conversation. And for all of our guests, you can learn more about ServiceNow by contacting your account manager at ServiceNow, and ScreenMeet, you can connect at screenmeet.com or ben@screenmeet.com, and we're all happy to answer any further questions you have. So with that, thank you all, and we'll see you next time.